Well, thanks for staying with us. This is Firecrackers, and we're live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria, and wherever you're watching us around the world. Now, let's begin here in Lagos. I understand a retired colonel is standing by to speak with us, Hassan Stan-Labo. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak with Galaxy TV. Colonel Hassan, retired, if you can hear me loud and clear. Well, you are a military veteran, and let's even begin with the rules of engagement as a retired military officer. Talk us through the major rules of engagement. Well, as it relates to when to use the arms and particular arms, because we understand as regards the NSAS movement and the shootings, though the military has described it as fake news, we understand that 7.62 armor was used on civilians. So we just want to find out for a background to start with, just the rules of engagement.
It's okay. In such situations where it has to with the of fire. Please, can you correct there is a technical issue there.
Okay, we'll see how we can fix that.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. First and foremost, it's expected that when to the ground, at least then to warn the crowd. That wasn't done in the case. And on situation as this, we have to bear in mind that you engage the crowd with kinetic measures and your kinetic under this present situation, to be frank with you, words of persuasion, all right, some humility on the parts in part of offer from government officials would have been able to avoid the situation before we get to the problem. And even when you move in troops there are other options that could be used. I expected things like engaging with water. All these are options. Besides, it is important to understand the facing. I think refer to the youth, the crowd, the I wouldn't describe them as your ruling. Okay? So I expected a situation where I appeal to them. This is a crowd. Doctors, lawyers, engineers. For the past 12 days or so, they have. And let's face it, the even singing the national anthem, so on. If I were an officer commanding that, frankly, I would demand that is if I didn't come with one, and I would talk to them like fellow Nigerians, appeal to their conscience, understand that it is important.
Sorry to interrupt you, because we have to round off our communication as soon as possible, but maybe you probably need to talk us through the consequences of these particular shootings. As you've rightly said, videos have emerged, especially from the international community, where Nigerians were seen holding the Nigerian flag, singing the national anthem, and yet they were shot. What are the consequences as we look at the impact of the hashtag #EndSARS protest or movement? What are the security consequences of these particular shootings? And then again, we'll get to hear your first-hand thoughts about the fact that the Nigerian military describes all of what played out as fake news.
In the first place, I see the entire act as an insult to our citizenship. And if the army is saying that they were not, or they are not responsible for what happened, I don't doubt them. I would want to take them. But it is important that by virtue of that claim, exonerate themselves, it gives room for a great deal of national security concerns. Why am I saying that? It is me as far as that we are, as a nation, right, having a team of armed, we cannot identify, residing amongst us, carrying out lines of action not in the interest of it therefore means that we have to fish them out. What is our intelligence community doing? Is that also a failure of? Because let's face it, even before the first day of the, I already expect that the community would do an analysis of what this and advise government appropriately. So I see a failure of intelligence here.
Well, stay with us. When we come back, we will get to take your first-hand reaction to Mr. President's nationwide broadcast, and then we'll also get to talk about the ways forward. All of that in just a moment. Wherever you're watching us from around the world, this is Firecrackers, and we are live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. Our focus for the first part of our discussion is the hashtag #EndSARS protest. We are looking at the political, security, and economic impact of that particular protest. All of that in just a moment. We also understand that the families of those who lost a member or two who were probably protesters are also grieving and mourning. It's a very, very difficult time to be a Nigerian. That's in a moment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So-called protesters had invaded an international airport and in the process disrupted the travel plans of fellow Nigerians and our visitors. All this executed in the name of the #EndSARS protests. I am indeed deeply pained that innocent lives have been lost. These tragedies are uncalled for and unnecessary. Certainly, there is no way whatsoever to connect these bad acts to legitimate expression of grievance of the youth of our country. The spreading of deliberate falsehood and misinformation through the social media in particular, that this government is oblivious to the pains and plight of the citizens is a ploy to mislead the unwary within and outside Nigeria into unfair judgment and disruptive behavior. On the contrary, both our deeds and words have shown how committed this administration has been to the well-being and welfare of citizens, even with the steadily dwindling revenues and the added responsibilities and restrictions due to the coronavirus pandemic. Government has put in place measures and initiatives principally targeted at youth, women, and the most vulnerable groups in our society. These included our broad plan to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years.
Where they shout from, I no get joy, I no get joy. You can't be killing my brothers and sisters. I left them behind to fight Boko Haram. You can't be killing them and you want me to have joy. I don't have joy in this country. Whatever the youth are doing, I'm in support of them. Life and direct. Be you who. I no get joy for this town. I'm a soldier, but I can't support bad thing. I can't support bad thing. You can't kill my brothers. You can't kill my brother. I'm here fighting Boko Haram. You can't kill my brothers that are left behind. You can't kill my family.
My advice goes to every fellow soldier. Okay, you guys should not be fooled. Don't be used. We are the youth. The fight that the civilian fighting is our fight. Do not let them use us. I know where you are. Most especially the advice goes to the new people in the system. I'm talking about the 1990 and the 2090. And mostly they will use guy. For this struggle, they will deploy you. As I'm hearing the rumor that they want to deploy some soldier to chase away, maybe to scare the protester. You guys should remember, even though you were deployed, eventually you deploy. Remember that if you eventually take any unlawful order and you fire civilian people you're firing, remember the bullet may go and hit your brother or your sister. And remember, this fighting that these people are fighting is just our fight. Because if Nigeria is okay, nobody will fly out of the country. Remember how many soldiers have leave this job, run to Dubai, run to different part of the country for seeking for greener pasture. And how much are they paying you as a private soldier? Maybe private soldier is 50,000, last cobra 55,000, and so on like that. No. You yourself say this fight is our fight, and if things are okay in the country and every soldier is well paid, civilian is well paid, things are going on, nobody will want to fly out of this country. The foreigner, they will be trying to come to our country, not we trying to go to other country. I urge every one of you, every soldier seeing this, listening to this, please do not let us be fooled. Remember what happened in Sudan when the president called the soldier to
Thanks for staying with us wherever you're watching from around the world. We are live from our studios here in Lagos. This is Firecrackers, where we engage our major players in the game of politics. We have Colonel retired Stan-Labo Hassan with us. Colonel Hassan, let's get to talk about Mr. President's speech for a moment. Has that nationwide address done more damage than good?
That speech to me was completely an empty speech. The president did not speak to the issue. He did not appeal to the emotions of the youth. Okay? Mr. President was completely silent on the Lekki issues or the Lekki incident. All right? He did not express. There was a disconnect in that speech which he offered. Right? Disconnect between the speech and it did not meet the expectations of the speech. Yes, it was long in reference, very short on action. All right. Unfortunately, I must say this: the of street writers did not do a good work in him. Under a situation as this, it's expected that the president's speech will touch and penetrate. Frankly speaking, have good speech writers. Forget whatever qualification they can. They do not know how to. A president to its lacking. His speech, as far as I'm concerned, when he finished delivering that speech, I was asking myself, what? Why was I running up and down and listening to the president? It was an opportunity for him and talk to these boys, appeal to the various segments. Calm down now. We see you to be very much in charge. I didn't see all this in. And it is the fault of the speech. Because while all this is going on, expect him to sit down and be calling a very powerful speech for the president. And when you give it to him, he now does it. I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Then you take what and reframe it up. That wasn't a president.
Colonel Stan, while you blame the scriptwriters probably, do you also think that there's probably a disconnect between our Nigerian leaders and the people? Are they cut off from the realities on ground?
Do we still ask such questions? It's not glaring that we have always had in this country leadership. I'm not looking at this administration. I'm looking at the fact. We suffered the same thing in the last administration. Before then, we suffered the same thing. We have never been blessed with leadership. And unfortunately, I'm surrounded by boosters. Everybody is protecting his job. The president is never giving a true picture of this. That is it. You don't expect the president to this one. But I expect that when him, they present a clear picture. That is it. The president could have addressed this country before the whole of this rubbish started. That could have cooled down us where we are. Look at the activities that have got in terms of, you think, when do you think we can recover from it? We are not doing well in terms of revenue.
Yes, Colonel,
As far as the economy.
Colonel, because we're absolutely pressed for time, I think in over about 15 states out of 36, curfews have been declared, including Lagos, including Cross River State, Jos, and the likes, Delta, and so on. Curfews have been declared. You are a military veteran. What exactly is going on in terms of the security, the state of the security across Nigeria?
The governors are just trying to see how they are bringing whatever injury they have, crisis management to bear on this. And the best way is to see how movement of people are done. That's just it. The security agencies, the people are so scared to carry out any action. So even when you throw them into the streets, they act so much caution. So we have to as the people and say we must now take the situation to account and make sure that attention that so that those in position of power to be able to oversee the system. Otherwise, they are overwhelmed. We must assist them.
Colonel Stan-Labo, would like to thank you so much for speaking with Galaxy TV.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
We'll be speaking with a retired Colonel, Hassan Stan-Labo. It's been very interesting having that chat with him. This is Firecrackers. We have more for you in just a moment, as across Nigeria there have been loot upon loot about over palliatives which were probably meant for the common Nigerian. What exactly were those palliatives doing in storehouses? That's in a moment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.